This is the exact AI system I use to generate over $20 million for my clients, as well as scale my own ecom brand from 0 to 7 figures with Google Ads. And in this video, I'm going to break it down so you can copy it from me. If you're an ecom brand owner, you've probably been told that Google is just another traffic source. Turn on smart bidding, walk away, and let it capture the demand that already exists or that you're generating through Meta. But what you don't realize is the moment you try to scale past Meta generated traffic, your ROAS massively declines. And I see this time and time again. And that's because everybody for some reason believes that Google can't scale top of funnel traffic, which is the biggest lie I've heard in ecom and Google Ads. This system isn't just theory. This is exactly what I've done to scale a Australian automotive brand from 57K in ad spend to over $1.2 million in revenue, and countless other successful stories with brands that I'm working with right now. So by the end of this video, you'll know the exact AI system I'm using, and you can apply it for your own brand to scale it past 100K a month with Google Ads. All right, let's get into it. So before I dive deep into the workflow, I want to share some recent wins we've been getting for clients. So as you can see, for this brand, within the space of 4 weeks of taking over the account, we pretty much 3x their revenue, and ROAS maintained. It's very healthy, right? And you can see we 4x spend as well. For another brand, within 4 weeks of taking over their account, we scaled from 155K in revenue, and as you can see the time frame here, April, and then in May, we done 242K in revenue, and ROAS only dipped slightly, but again, that's to be expected as we scale. And then for this brand, so far this year, we scaled from literally 0 to $1.4 million in revenue. So this system works. I definitely recommend you actually take notes and apply this for your brand. So let's just get into it. The first thing you want to do is definitely reverse engineer your competitors' funnel. This is going to be a no-brainer task to do because the brands doing 8 figures a year tested everything. You can steal most of it. Instead of 50K of trial and error, extract the funnel in 2 hours. And now with Claude, it's so productive, right? You can be so productive. So here's a workflow, right? The first thing you want to do is actually take that keyword strategy. So here is a prompt, and as you can see here, I've screenshotted it within Claude as well. So definitely literally just copy and paste this prompt. And the goal here is to actually understand, okay, what exactly is your competitor brand? How are they structuring their titles? And, you know, you're getting a good idea of like the different themes, the different angles they're tapping into within their titles and the keywords, right? And here's one bonus tip as well that I want to mention is sometimes on the website, the title they have on the website isn't the title they have on the actual Google shopping ad or the Google search ad, especially on the Google shopping ad. So what you want to do is actually go on Ad Transparency Center, plug in that brand, and that way you'll actually be able to see exactly the title they're running Google shopping ads with. And this is good because you can look at YouTube ads, Google search ads, like basically every single Google ad that your competitors doing, right? So it's really good to analyze. So, and then what you want to do as well is you actually want to take the ad copy formula. So here is a prompt as well. Analyze competitors' Google ads across their top category keywords, identify the headline, all this sort of stuff, right? So Claude can do this, or what you can do as well is just plug in, tell it to go on Ads Transparency Center, and it will basically just do it for you, especially with Claude Cowork as well. It's so good. But I definitely recommend using Google Ads Transparency Center, right? It's going to be very beneficial because you're getting a live view of exactly what the exact ads your competitors are running. Third thing you want to do, which is very important now with Google, is actually rebuild their best landing pages, you know, by taking screenshots. So again, you can do it here. You can see the traffic they're running it to, or you can just look at, you know, within their pages, right? Within the different pages they have on their website. And again, here is a prompt as well. I'll probably make a separate video on exactly how you can use AI to make landing pages, because we're doing it a lot, and honestly, it's been working really well. So these are the first 3 things you want to do, because right now, you know, it's going to help you build a very strong foundation with your Google ads and make sure that you're actually setting yourself up for success, right? Because you're emulating what's working. And remember, don't just copy. You never want to copy. See what's working well in the market, make it way better. See what they're not doing well. And that's where you know, tap in and you beat your competition, right? Having your different USPs and that sort of stuff. And exactly like I just said, find the angle they're not using and the page type they're not running. So what we want to do then is actually optimize your GMC titles. I speak about this so many times, I know, but I just can't express to you guys how important it is. So literally, I mean, I posted in one of my previous videos about how literally one GMC title or one optimized GMC title took our ROAS from 9.6 to 18.9 in non-branded conversions, by the way, not branded. Because remember, Google indexes the first 3 words, first 50 characters. So make sure that is always going to be non-branded and it's optimized for success. And look, I've made a video already for that. I've got a workflow here with AI as well, right? Which is going to make our lives way easier. So what you want to do is obviously first observe your bestsellers, that sort of stuff. Within Google Ads as well, what you want to do is actually download, you know, basically all the search terms report. And then what you want to do is, here's a prompt, tell Claude, remove every branded query anything containing my brand, product, or domain name. This is very important, especially when you want to start tapping into mid-1, top of funnel and new customers, right, with Google. And then what you want to do is sort the remaining non-branded queries by conversions, group the top converters by which product they map to, and then for each product, write a new title where the first 3 words are the highest converting non-branded keywords. I gave you guys a structure here that you can use to optimize your titles. And then you can upload the new titles via a supplemental feed. And there's also a GMC duplication strategy. It's more of an advanced strategy. We've been doing it a lot recently for our clients, and honestly, it's been working so well. So I'll probably spill some sauce in the future and make a video regarding that. And then what you want to do, which is going to be very important for Google search ads and YouTube ads, is actually building funnels. Right now, look, if you're doing really well on Meta, then those advertorials, those listicles, those creatives you'll find are going to work well with Google. But if not, then what you want to do is actually you want to map out the whole funnel, right? So again, here is a prompt. I'm literally making this so easy for you guys, so there's no excuse. And then, for example, this is what you tell Claude. You're an ecom conversion architect. My brand sells, whatever your brand sells, the price, and then your ICP, right? My Google ads run 4 layers: top of funnel, symptom searches, advertorials, middle funnel, category comparison searches, blah, 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 blah. And then map every page I need, page type, which layer feeds it, primary keyword, cluster, word, count, conversion goal, and the next step after conversion. And where upsell, downsell, cross sells fit. I'll put a full funnel map with traffic flow, right? So now you're going to have an insanely strong foundation and a very good base to start making pages with. And you can literally use AI to make pages, right? Like I said, and then generate each page, right? And remember, we're basing a bunch of this from the actual competitor research that we done, right? Clearly, if one brand is pushing more listicles and advertorials, then you want to follow that, right? You probably, there's going to be a higher chance that listicles are going to work. But I definitely recommend testing everything. Personally, advertorials, listicles, comparison listicles as well, like the top 5s, they work really well right now with Google. Comparison pages as well, especially for newer brands or competitive brands as well, that works really well. But then what you want to do is generate each page, and there is literally a prompt here, so just copy paste it. Use the same approach for comparison pages, listicles, quizzes, PDP, literally anything, and then you can deploy it with a coding model such as Codex. I'll probably make a video and literally share the exact workflow that we're doing to make pages as well using AI. But honestly, in the age of AI, there's no excuse to not have a very high quality output and get very good results with Google Ads and just with Ecom in general. And then a bonus, generate winning creative. So like I said, similar to pages, if you guys are on Meta ads, then honestly, just use the creatives that are working well with YouTube Shorts. That's just what's working well right now. But if not, then what you want to do is definitely use Higgsfield and ChatGPT images too. Like in terms of images and statics and that sort of stuff, I find that ChatGPT images too works the best. And then for videos and that sort of stuff, CDance. Now look, with Claude, you can actually link Claude and Higgsfield. I've tested this personally. A lot of my clients are doing it as well. This works really well, and it just makes you the output is just 10x, right? You're way more productive and the quality is really good. The 3-stage prompt method for images, and images are going to be very important, for both your Google shopping ads, right? But then also for display ads when you want to start scaling top of funnel as well. So you really want to specify everything, right? The product, where it sits in frame, at what percentage, the background, all of that sort of stuff, right? And then you want to iterate. Prompt the AI with details on what needs to be changed in your image, right? So same image, but with the product 10% to the left, even shadows, that sort of stuff. And remember, we're basing this based on our competitor research. It always starts with that, right? Or if you already have a winner, then iterate based on that. And then what you want to do is batch. Generate 4 versions in one go, right? So like a clean white background, lifestyle, ingredients scattered, before and after split, right? You definitely want to test. And then for YouTube Shorts, you can obviously make an actual video ad, right? Or you can just animate this, a good image and animate it. It really just depends on your niche, right? Because for some niches, you can just animate an image, right? It doesn't need to be super in depth. But for example, a health and wellness or whatever, like a talking head video, then it makes sense to make a video directly, right? So tools, like I said, ChatGPT 2.0 for images, CDance 2.0 on Higgsfield. That's what we're using right now. And then you can run each variation at $30 a day for 7 days, kill losers, double winners. Look, I've made a video literally going over testing YouTube ads, shared a crazy case study. So I definitely recommend you watch that video as well, right? And look, that's pretty much it. Very simple workflow, but the results that you'll get by just implementing this is next level. So now you know exactly how I use Claude and Google Ads to scale ecom brands past 100K a month. But understanding this and implementing it are two different games. And this is exactly what differentiates brands that get stuck at 30K a month compared to brands that go past 100K a month in revenue with Google Ads and Ecom. And that's exactly what we do at Ad Imperium. We build this entire system for you, and it's a fully done for you service. Heck, we even do landing pages and Bing ads on top of the Google ads to build out the whole ecosystem for your brand. We've run this system for over 47 brands and have done over $20 million in revenue. So if you're an ecom brand owner doing over $30,000 a month in sales and you want this implemented for you, definitely book a call with me today. And if you want to see exactly how I cracked Google search ads to generate over $5 million this year alone in 2026, click on the video on the top right and I'll see you there.